Have you ever wondered why some real estate agents perform at ultra-high levels every single year? Welcome to the Unstoppable Agent Podcast with your host, Richard Fournier. Each week, we interview real estate agents from around the world who are constantly ranked in the top 1% of the real estate industry. My mission, share with you their best strategies so that you can create your own peak results as a real estate agent. It's time to become unstoppable.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of the Unstoppable Agent Podcast. I'm your host, of course, Rich Fournier, and I'm very excited. It's taken forever, but I'm very excited to have the mother-daughter team from Royal LePage Burloak in Burlington, Laura Brown and her family, this amazing people on our podcast today. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yep. So this is a first. So for our audio listeners who aren't watching the videos on YouTube, for our international audience, Burlington is just a little bit west of Toronto. It's its own urban center. And this is the first time that we've actually had three speakers at the same time. And I'm really excited around this because this is the future of real estate. I really believe in the team concept and family. And so we have Kristina, which is Laura's daughter, and Maria, who's the adopted daughter now, apparently.
Yep.
I like that.
I like that he didn't go granddaughter.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm so excited to have you here. And for our audience, so Laura, you were the original founder of this team, and you've been in business for, I think, around 36 years. Is that right?
Yeah, pushing 40.
Pushing 40, all right. And, you know, we bring people onto this podcast who have produced. And what I mean by production, they have served more families than most other agents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
I love what I do.
Yeah. Well, there's no way you can do this if you don't love it.
No, absolutely not. You give up everything for real estate.
Isn't that interesting? And so this podcast is around trying to get to the truth of the business. Right? And a lot of smoke and mirrors in our industry and a lot of perceptions that aren't true. And that's the reason why we're doing this, is to really get to the truth of why you. And this is meant to be really truthfully, why you, Laura? Like what and why? Like what is that magic elixir, right? That thing that has allowed you to not only last but perform at the very top in this industry. And so, do you have any thoughts around why you and how that came about? Because so very few people actually make it. We both know that.
Well, I started back in the early 80s when it was just a man's industry. Mm-hmm. And my skin was really thin and it got really thick really fast. And I found out that the harder you work, the luckier you get. I worked 100, 120 hours a week for many years, didn't take days off, worked years and years. You just have to work really, really hard, and you have to put your clients' needs first. You know, I spend my money stupidly. I've got, 5 horses, all kinds of animals, but I treat my clients' money way more important than I treat my own. And my clients they're just priceless to me. And that's why we get so many people that keep using us and their families and their friends, because they know that they can trust us, that we work for them, not for us.
You're right. It is really okay. We can end the podcast, right?
Yeah, it's that simple.
But so in someone's mind, so if you look back, and Kristina and Maria, I'm coming at you in a bit, so don't you worry. Laura, like in an agent's mind, in this world today, our industry is what leads. And you're talking people, families.
Yeah.
And you legitimately worked 100+ hours a week in the beginning.
Well, up until almost 2 years ago, I just started taking weekends off for the first time in my life. And I take weekends off unless I have to work. But my daughter and my team make sure that I get, Saturday and Sunday off. Saturdays so I can chill, Sundays so I can go to the farm and physically kill myself and enjoy all the animals.
Right. And so this is where what I'm finding in our industry today, that people aren't working. They think it's all glam. The more you post, the more you and it just magic happens. And no conversations, relationships at scale is how I view this. relationships at scale.
Yes.
And so when you look back, like, how did you start? Did you have this massive Rolodex of people that just, you can tell my age, I'm Rolodexing here. So like people who just wanted to work with you?
No, I started knocking on doors. I knocked on doors and knocked on doors and knocked on doors. And the more doors I knocked on, the more listings I got, the more properties I sold. Then I started going after builders, selling them land, selling their houses. I only stopped working for a builder maybe not even 10 years ago, because I just couldn't take getting beaten up anymore by the builder, not by the people. Love the people.
Right.
Yeah, the builders are hard on you. They're really hard on you, but you're also building your business when you sell new homes.
It's very true. I've seen that actually happen a few times. So you start knocking on doors. And when you look at knocking on doors, Laura, like, did you have any fear while you were doing this? Is this like,
no,
you had no fear?
No.
So what drove you?
Money in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
freedom.
A real necessity, right?
Freedom.
Yeah.
I was in a bad marriage. I needed to get out.
Yeah.
And when I was introduced into real estate, in my first 6 months, I grossed $250,000 when the interest rates were like, well, in the 80s, and they were in 20%.
So let's talk about that. And I want to, do you mind? Because this is the real truth right here. And just as a reminder, you're serving a lot of people by sharing this. If it's difficult, let me know.
Yeah.
You had a real deep desire, real need though, like a real need to produce at a really high level, to create a new situation for yourself and for your family. That's
for my children, for me and my children.
Right. And so in that moment where you make a decision, right, to make a decision to go knock on a door, there's a humbling that has to take place, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like, I am knocking on your castle, man. Hello. Yeah. Right. And so I'm knocking on that door to ask and to serve and to introduce and try to fulfill a need. And so when you look at that $250,000 in the beginning, like, how many doors? Like, how did that look like, Laura?
Most of let's see, Brand Hills.
Yeah.
Because at one time I had like almost every other house on the streets listed. It was crazy good. All of Brand Hills. Then I sold Walker's Heights new. I had 6 builders, different builders at the same time. Yeah. And then all those people and all the subdivisions that I've done, and the people come back because they know that I killed myself for them.
Right.
They know, people know I work hard for them. You can ask any of my clients. They know that I put them above me. Right. And so does my team. We're all the same minded. If you just do your job right, your bank account will take care of itself. You just do what you need to do to make sure that your clients are 100% happy and that they get the best deal you can get them.
100%. And if you look out today, Laura, if you were to give somebody some advice around becoming involved in the business and producing at the level that you produce, which is really rare, right? What kind of advice would you give them today?
Get a job.
You're killing me here. Get a job. Right. No, I get it. But
if you're successful in real estate, you give up a lot. I've been divorced 4 times. I bought 4 houses, support payments to 2 different men, like at the same time, and trying to raise your children. And you just have to do what you've got to do. And that's what I did. I just did what I had to do.
Right.
And I would do it all over again too, except for the husbands.
right. To burn them
I'd
out.
have more horses.
So is it fair to say that if someone gets in, what you see, when you look at the agents today and you look at the people that are beginning, it's like they have no staying power.
No, they need to get with a team, first of all, because agents on their own, like I started 40 years ago, it's not the same anymore. It's not just putting a sign on the lawn and then it goes on MLS. You're actually working. You're working for your money. I know a lot of people think we get paid too much, but we don't. Not for the amount of money we spend to market the property, the hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours of our time giving up birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas. Like I've worked Christmas Day so many times. I've worked my birthday every single year. I've never taken that time off because my clients, when they called me, they were the most important.
100%. I just did a deal Christmas Day. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I was like, my honey, and I was on these painkillers and I couldn't drive. I'm like, honey, can we leave the family? We got to get in the car. I got to go get a signature because this person's in their 80s and they can't use digital signing. She's like, really? I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, hey, back in the day, it was 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I would come home because you were driving from Hamilton to Scarborough to Milton and back.
Yeah. I get it. I did it. I remember. I started in 2009, so we didn't have digital signing at that time. And so I was in the Oakville, Burlington area. And, you know, I got to drive and get a signature at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going back and forth. And I don't think people really understand the sacrifices. And I think agents come in and we say, hey, come in here and it's all glamour. And it's amazing. But I don't know if they really understand the amount of effort it takes to push that boulder up the hill.
Oh, as soon as you list a property, it's like a million things have to happen. From cleaning and photography to floor plans to marketing to everything, even before it hits the market. In some houses, like I listed one, I think it was Sunday or Monday, it's hitting the market today. So all of that is already transpired because we have a good backup team. Like we have trades. 40 years gives you a lot of really good people. You can weed out all the bad trades, keep the good ones with you, and you can get so much done. Electricians, plumbers, painters, anything, you know?
Right. And so one of your driving forces, because we all have a driving force in whatever we do. One of your driving forces was, of course, you know, Kristina.
Yes.
And Kristina, you know, you joined your mom and, you know, it's not easy working with family. I know my wife is my partner and we were just arguing before we got on this podcast about the branding and stuff that we're doing on something. And she's annoyed at me. And so,
give up control. I gave up control. Kristina's the boss. Just let your wife have control.
Yeah, well, she does. Don't tell her that, but
I know she does. And Kristina knows she does too.
Right. So, Kristina, how's it been for you? You know, coming into real estate, growing up as a real estate fan, I'm sure. So I see a lot of kids do not follow their parents in the real estate game because they have some resentment.
You know what? It's funny you say that because I always said, there is no way I will ever be a realtor. No chance in hell. Not happening. And here I am. But I mean, it was interesting. I was training standard bred racehorses when I was like 19 and I ended up breaking my wrist and I couldn't drive. So mom was like, you know what, come work with me and you can be my assistant and that's it. So I did. And within like a couple months, she was like, everybody loves you. You're so personable. You need to get your license. And I was like, oh, you know, but I did because, you know, growing up with realtors is a very different kind of lifestyle. You know, your parents aren't home and I didn't want to be that person, but I did it anyways. And it's been almost 20 years and I absolutely love what I do. I love people like our clients. We seem to like manifest such good people into our existence. It's crazy. And a lot of them we become so close with, friends, family. And it's just like, and even it's crazy dealing with somebody and then like within 20 years, watching their baby become an adult and then helping them find their first home. It's crazy. It's so like rewarding. You know what I mean? And I didn't think I would love it as much as I do, but working with my mom is a huge blessing. And little Maria, I love you, Maria. She's like my daughter, but it's like the three of us, the other team members as well, like Michelle and Donelda, everybody, we all work so well together. And it makes this environment that is just such a loving, caring, compassionate place. And it just makes being a realtor so much fun.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
And, you know, because you've been around a long time, like, is there a daily method of, I guess, for lack of a better word, daily method of operation to continue to compete in a very competitive environment? So what I mean by that is there ongoing reach outs to create more relationships down the road?
Constantly. We're constantly doing stuff. And
what would that look like?
Just you talk to people. All you have to do is talk to people. And I talk to so many people a day, wherever I am.
Socializing.
Socializing. Well, our team sponsors a farm in Ancaster, and I'm up there a lot. And I'm talking to hundreds, if not thousands of people a month, just being up there, doing farm work, helping their children with autism and all the rescue animals that we have, taking care of them. So I meet a lot of people. Kristina meets a lot of people. Our family has, they used to have 2 fine dining restaurants. We met a lot of people through them as well. And I've been in Burlington most of my life, so I know so many people, and it just spreads like wildfire, and people keep using you and telling other people about you. It's just like that perk commercial. Tell one person, tell somebody else, tell somebody else, tell somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so Kristina, go ahead.
Oh no, but you on a daily basis, you kind of have to be in the office, dedicate time there, dedicate time to reaching out to clients, reaching out on social media, making content, things like that. It's a daily thing, and having support for that really helps. Like I couldn't do it alone, mom either. Like you need the help of, your family. Like it takes a village is actually a real thing, and not just raising children, but having a team as well, and being able to, reach out to your clients, your database, and, being able to kind of maintain relationships with people. It's really important.
And so, it sounds like to me, just from what I'm hearing, is that my idea of relationships at scale is being validated again. You just have relationships at scale throughout a lifetime, but it sounds like you've been very, very diligent about creating relationships at scale.
Yes, definitely.
People are important. People are really important to us. They really, truly are. And even if it's, I don't think you can even buy a trailer anymore for $10,000, but whether it's a $10,000 trailer or $1 million home, everybody deserves a home.
Same treatment.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%. And Maria, what are you doing?
Hello.
Crazy coming into this crazy industry. Sounds like you have some really great role models. And
Absolutely.
And what have you, how's your experience been? No pressure. We're all staring at you now, right? No joking. Like, what has it been like to come into an industry and kind of go into an immersion program is really what it is.
So when I got into, I'm the noob on the team. Like I've had my license for coming on almost 2 years now. And so when I got into it, it was pandemic times, and it was 20 offers, and, I'm working with buyers primarily, and it was, okay, we lost out on this one. Let's go offer on X amount of other properties. And you keep losing. And it's an environment that I thought, oh God, like this is here to stay. This is what I got into. So this is what I'm used to now. Right. So the market that we're in now, and it started to slow down, I'm having to learn so much more and how to battle an ever-changing market. And it's fantastic that I have Laura, Kristina, and our other team members to support me, because like Laura said, joining on a team is so paramount, because you have so much support around you and so much that courses don't teach you, that you have to learn on the job, on location with people. And so it's been a wild ride, but it's been very exciting. And I think getting into real estate, at least for myself, has allowed me to express, a lot of my creativity. And I have a lot of areas that I can grow in and test out and see if this works and see if that doesn't work. And Laura and Kristina are fantastic, because they're like, yeah, you do what you want to do. If it's on the marketing end, if it's on the operations end, what you think is best, we're here to support you, and we're here to help. So they've been, rocks for me, because I don't know how I would have done it, honestly, without them. So it's been wild, but it's been super, super enjoyable.
And so when you look at what's working and what's not working in the relationship building business, so if we don't mind going down, that boring strategy conversation where our listeners are dying to know, trust me, what do you do every day to acquire a new relationship?
You just have to talk to people. You just have to talk to people.
Absolutely. And the way, there's so many ways that you can go out to talk to people. And sometimes it's not even intentional. Like, for example, if you join a sports team every night and you just put it out there, hey, I'm a real estate agent, this is what I'm doing at work. But your intention isn't to go out all the time and to say, I'm a real estate agent, let me sell your house. It's just opening that conversation and then maintaining that conversation over time. You see someone at the grocery store. For me, myself, because I grew up in a generation that's all technology, it's building content on our Instagram and increasing our online presence. So we're making short videos to engage people, and then we're pushing out ads, that target a certain number of people in a certain area, retargeting them as well, so that, when they see the mother-daughter team, they're like, oh, I know these people. I saw them last week on this page. And, oh, here's a testimonial here. And here's a new listing that they just put up. So for me, it's more so maintaining that online presence, especially because a lot of the people that I'm attracting as clients are always on their phone: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. So for me, it's definitely that online presence. Videos a lot, like Instagram stories, Facebook stories. People want to see your face. Like, there's one thing about making, a static post where it's talking about, here's a buyer tip, but people actually want to know, who's the person behind that? Who's the person that's giving me this information? Can I trust them? Is this a good source of information? So that's why it's always, connecting that content with the face. And so that's why I think video on online platforms is so important in our day and age.
Video first.
Absolutely.
Video first. And that is something I've had to adopt in my age. Video first. And
it's not easy. It's not easy because with putting your face out there and information out there can come controversy. And now it's like, okay, well, if this person puts out, a irrational thought or something that people think is, irrational or whatever it is, your face is tied to that. So it is very scary to get into it. But once you get into it, you just have to keep going, and it yields results 100%.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, because I'm always curious, success leaves clues all the time. And Laura, by the way, I 100% agree. Relationships at scale, conversations. Yep. And if you're not a naturally, exuberant personality, you really got to be focused on how am I having those conversations? Because if it's not natural to go around and be social and do things and be involved with, I don't know, the church or whatever it is that you're involved in, if you don't do that, you have to have a method of operation that you function in, or else nothing's going to happen.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's finding something, I find, that works for you. There's some people that do cold calling, door knocking, online presence, going to community events. Everything is not going to work for everybody. It's finding the one thing that works for you, but being consistent in that, and when you think about this certain area, people are like, oh, wait, I know that person because she's always showing up here.
Can I ask a question? It's kind of a question statement, but maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. So you do all your external marketing, Laura, you have lots of relationships, Kristina, you have relationships, and over time, do you find that it's the social media, okay, I hate such a broad word, but video really, is supporting the relationship, but without the relationship, social media becomes less than? Or is that dependent on the demographic?
I think it's demographic.
I'd say yes. A, it's demographic. And B, I think, number one thing, I think in-person relationships are huge because it's body gestures. It's the aura that you're giving off to other people. That's kind of hard to communicate, online. That can still come out via video, but in person, I think, is paramount. What I think works for us is a lot of people say, hey, I've talked to Kristina, I've talked to Laura, I've talked to whoever on our team. I'm thinking about using them to help me, buy, sell, invest. But then I find that a lot of people go and search us up online. And then that kind of validates when they see what we're doing online, that validates, yes, they want to go with us because we're doing a lot online and we're marketing their, properties and we're building connections with other people online. So I think that validates the in-person relationships.
Okay, good. And the reason why I wasn't leading you in that question, so I'll give you an example. We had a client, not a client, a friend who's been involved in Lake Simcoe. Like, they've been around forever and ever and ever. I can't say their names. They've been around a long time. And I said, the conversation we were having on a private deal, off market, and they're leaving the business. They're like you're talking 40 years. Like, they're not pushing it anymore. I said, why? So they can't keep up. They can't keep up. You can't keep up because what you just said right there, that these personal relationships are amazing, but if they can't validate in the back end when someone's on their phone laying in bed, oh, there they are again, perfect. If they can't get that to occur, the original relationship is going away for the person who has this. Oh, sorry, holding up my phone, right? And so,
absolutely, exactly.
So even though they've had these long-standing relationships, if you don't see, I'm seeing that actually losing a little bit of ground if they don't have the back end video to support the long-term relationship. That's what I'm starting.
Absolutely. Yeah. I sorry, Laura, go ahead.
I have clients that pre-technology, when we used to have to say to people, press really hard, you're doing 6 copies, when you would do offers. I still have those clients that they were coming back before technology really happened. I really agree technology makes our lives so much easier.
Yeah. It's a mix of both.
It's a mix of both. It is.
You do. I'm finding that if they don't know, if they may know you, but if they don't see what you're doing,
they forget.
They forget, but then some of them will be, oh, I've got an agent, and then you got to call Laura, or you got to call Kristina. They haven't seen us forever. I run into people I haven't seen in 40 years because they still live in the same house. And I'm like, dude, you need to move every 5 years. Every 5 years, it's tax-free money. Right now, it still is tax-free money.
Right.
So
this thing right here that you shared, not that our people listening can see what I just did with my hand, but the truth is this thing that you just shared is a very important point, and I don't know if people are really hearing this. Physical, emotional relationships at scale is paramount.
Yes.
And you need the back end to support those relationships.
Yes.
They can't see the back end when they're scrolling in bed, not paying attention to their spouse. If they don't see that, they're going to see the other people that are doing it, and they will start to move their relationship eventually. That's what I'm hearing.
You have to stay top of mind.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay. That's awesome. So if you were to say to me, Rich, you know what? You're in Burlington. You're just about to start in real estate today. Can I make it on my own?
No, not unless you've got a huge Rolodex.
Got it.
Seriously. Because everybody knows an agent. And who wants to trust a new agent? It's a real estate agent can destroy somebody's life so easily. And I've seen them do it. Thank God, and knock on wood, I never have. I've always been there for people to help them get out of the messes that other agents have gotten them into.
Yeah.
Because they don't care, they don't have the dedication, they don't have the experience, or they just don't care.
So right away, you're saying join a team. Learn.
It's great support, resources. You get so much
experience.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like for myself, who came new into the business, but I had that team name in my pocket, the mother-daughter team, and people would immediately go, oh, I've seen that sign on someone's property. Oh, and then they associate that with trust and experience. And so even though I'm newer on the team, I have essentially, 40 years on this team experience that I can back up my, claims with, my information, all of that,
That's amazing. Can I ask another question for you guys? Is there something that you do every day to keep your wonderful energy and positivity up? You guys have amazing positivity. Is there something that you do every day to make that happen?
For me, it's just animals. Seriously,
I was about to say animals.
My life happy. Animals
Laura, we're going to get to the animals soon. I promise you.
But ask my daughter to show you what she has on her lap.
Yeah. Oh, she's laying over on the floor now, napping.
She's taking a nap now.
Okay. Yeah, we all have animals. We're all really, really in tune with animals, and that just makes us happier, which makes us better people.
Yeah, it's true.
I've gotten into meditation a lot more too. I know
Kristina
does that quite a bit too. I've gotten a lot more into a bedtime meditation to get a good sleep. And if I get a good sleep, I wake up with this newfound energy. So meditation for me.
What does that look like? Don't mind me.
Hey, I get up at 4:30 every single morning.
Yeah, I can't relate to that. I'm more I need an 8-9 hours sleep, but but in terms of what it looks like, I do a guided meditation at night. There's podcasts on Apple Podcasts, any podcasts you can find, and they're guided meditations. Some of them are for, positive affirmations, stress reducing, anxiety reducing. There's a bunch of different ones that you can listen to. And I think they speak to your subconscious when you're sleeping. And somehow when you wake up, it does things for me. I don't know.
That's amazing. Kristina, what do you do to keep yourself going?
Same thing, really. I just, I like to meditate. I like to do yoga. I just have a really good mindset. I'm telling you, I watched The Secret when I was in my 20s. And ever since then, I push positivity to any and everyone. We do not tolerate negative attitudes anywhere near us. We like to keep everything super happy, super light, really positive all the time. So even if you come to us and you have like something that's bad that's happened to you, we're going to be that person, those people that are going to pick you right up. And that's always how we are. And no matter what bad happens, there's always good behind it. So it's just constantly maintaining that inner peace, really, and just knowing that, like, I feel like all of us are drawn to each other, all of us women, and we're all very happy, uplifting people, and we just like feed off each other's positivity. It's great.
Amazing.
It is.
Well, the mind can only take what the butt can handle in the car when they're listening to the podcast. So if you don't mind, I'm going to summarize a little bit. Number one, you're going to have to work hard. And what I mean by work hard, I just want to clarify that specificity and language is super important. That means relationships at scale and not being afraid to ask about buying or selling a piece of property in the future or whatever language you want to use. Secondly, social media has become a huge part of your business to support those relationships. Third, you need a team. You need somebody in your corner every single day to help you, right? That's what I'm hearing. And fourth, positivity, really working on yourself, keeping yourself in a place. And whatever that means for you, find a mechanism to fill your cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Your soul has to be happy. And if your soul's not happy,
So Laura, before we end, let's take 2 minutes and talk a little bit around, and we're going to do a podcast. Maybe we'll get the camera out there and we'll go to the farm in the future. Can we share a little bit of what's so near and dear to your heart?
Sure. I met this woman. My daughter actually introduced me to her 5 years ago. Her name is Trish Simons. She has 3 sons with autism and has a rescue farm where she rescues animals. When I met her, she had about 100 animals, including chickens. I think we got about 150 just chickens now. We're at 300 animals. Kristina and I have, we go to slaughter. We bid against meat buyers for horses and for baby goats and sheep. And none of the animals are healthy. We bring them back. We make them healthy. And then we give them the best life for the rest of their life. And of course, I am a vegetarian. Well, no, I'm not. I eat fish, but that's
pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Yes. And sometimes I do feel bad for lettuce. No, I really don't. But there's a lot of special needs children there. I meet a lot of special needs children that come because we've helped them turn their house into a respite home. So there's other children there with fetal alcohol syndrome too. There's professionals in the house. And it gives these children a purpose for their life. And she has twins that are 26 years old, but they're like 3 and maybe 7, mentally. These boys are like the light of my life. They really are. They're so special. And I see other children. I've seen miracles. I've seen nonverbal children giggle because we put them on a horse. I've seen just so much magic happen between autistic people and even adults and animals. And you put a baby goat on somebody with dementia's lap, the baby goat goes to sleep. It's like magic.
You're killing me today. I didn't even need to get emotional today.
You know what? I'm waiting for Trish to tell me we've got a goat right now who's in labor, and I'm waiting to hear so I can go up if it's twins or triplets, and I will be up there in a New York minute. And all my clients come to the farm. They get so much peace and joy, and it just makes your soul so happy. And seeing what animals and autistic, it's just magic. That's what drives me.
So what we're going to do, is there a way to support that place to maybe financially?
Yes. Go online, Triple C Farm. You go onto Facebook, Instagram, website, everywhere. We just rescued a foal that's had to have surgery done on his front legs. Came from the Mennonites. Sorry, I'm not really high on those people. They abuse animals. We've got a lot from the Mennonites. I'm sorry. We have a lot of animals because usually horses go from the racetrack to the Mennonites to slaughter. And then we get them and make them better. Like, you got to come to the farm. Just you bring your wife to the farm. You'll never leave. We have fundraisers there. I think we had 2,000 people this year there, or last year.
Yeah, we've had over 2,000 people. We do go to Palooza in the summer, and it's just like our clients come, people from the farm come. It's a whole fundraiser, bouncy castles, food. It was a super time, and it was just you would get out there and you talk to people.
Yeah.
There you go again, right? And so whatever mechanism works, it works for you. So what we will do is we'll post that on the show notes, etc. And then when we go out, we'll do a segment on it, and we'll make that happen absolutely for sure. So I can see how passionate you feel about this, and so
totally.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you for spending some time with us today. There is massive value. Like, I'm telling you, it reinforces some things that I believed, and success leaves clues. You're producing at a very, very high level. You're serving lots of families, and I'll make sure that everyone knows how to reach out to you in Burlington. Okay?
Please. Excellent. It was our pleasure.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in to today's show. If you like what you've heard and you're interested in creating a quantum leap in your real estate business, here's what I want you to do next. Head over to www.theunstoppableagentprogram.com and book an appointment to speak with our team. We'll get on a Zoom call with you for about 30 minutes and get you crystal clear on 3 things. Number 1, what do you really want out of your life and your business? Number 2, what is not working for you today? And number 3, the exact mindset strategy you should be using to create massive change in these areas. Remember, creating massive, consistent results in your real estate business does not happen by itself. You need expert guidance to make it happen. We're helping clients all over the world create peak results in their real estate business. To see if we can help you do the same, head over to www.theunstoppableagentprogram.com. We'll chat soon.